TV gives us so much drama and conflict and larger than life personalities, but they also give us prime examples of different mental health and personal accountability issues that we often talk about. And if you look hard enough, you can always find a valuable lesson or two, no matter how ratchet the show might be. So, last week we were talking about narcissistic parents, and I used the example of the father and one of his wives from the reality show Sister Wives. And somehow we end up going off on a tangent, giving examples from the show. The show is supposed to chronicle the lives of members in a polygamous family, but in my opinion, it does so much more than that. But one of the things about the show that I have noticed is that it never takes precedence on how the lifestyle and parental decisions affect all of the children on the show, the 18 children on the show. And the first season of the show gave us the birth of the third youngest child, who is now 14 years old. So this show's been going on for 14 years or 18 seasons. And they've had so many opportunities to shed light on the different parenting dynamics that could resonate with the viewers of the show, but they never do. I don't know if it's a choice that the family made or if it's the show and its editing. But while the familiar setup might differ from many traditional families, the show could highlight numerous principles that can guide the audience into becoming better parents to their own children, especially now that there's three of the four wives have just completely called it quits with their relationship with their husband. So now we have this dynamic where the family was already separated, but now they're going through, I guess you can call it divorces. There's three divorces happening all at the same time, and we never look at how the dynamics of this family are affecting any of the 18 children who are involved. One notable aspect of the show is the portrayal of how the adults or the parents navigate their complex relationships with each other and how it overshadows the voices and experiences of the children. The children are often left to deal with the fallout of their parents' conflicts, which leads to them feeling neglected and sometimes even isolated. There are plenty of episodes where the children's needs and perspectives have been completely sidelined, like when Cody, the father, just decided one day to pick the whole family up and move from Las Vegas, Nevada to Flagstaff, Arizona. Now, mind you, they had just recently moved to Las Vegas. They they have 18 children. They moved to a whole different state and city. All of these children had to get established in new schools. They had to make new friends. They had to join new clubs. And now they're finally comfortable in this space where they are, only to have their father completely disrupt their lives, uproot them, and move them somewhere else. And I think at the time, about five or six of the kids were in their last years of high school. So they just settled into this new place. They've established all these connections just to have it ripped away from them on a whim without any time to process. And this could have served as a good opportunity for the family and the show to highlight the importance of including all family members in open communication, especially when the decisions for the family are being made that affect the children the most. These children are always the most effective when the family's decisions are being made, but they're always the ones who are left out of the decision making because most parents don't see their children's input as being essential due to the fact that they're just kids or they don't pay any of their bills or I'm the parent and you do what I tell you to do. And while the parents are grappling with their own issues and drama, the children's emotional and developmental needs are being overlooked, potentially leading to long-term impacts on their not even potential, it has led to long-term impacts on their own mental, emotional, and physical well-being, as we've seen with the family on this show so many times. A few of the Brown children do suffer from anxiety. I think one of the girls has actual anxiety attacks. Some of them suffer from abandonment issues. One child even had alcohol abuse issues, which contributed to him taking his own life, which was completely sad. And I'm actually surprised they kept filming the show after that happened. And most of the children's issues on the show could have and probably should have been dealt with starting at very early ages, especially when they decided to broadcast their family on national television. By bringing these issues and dynamics to light, the show could have emphasized the necessity of intentional and inclusive parenting. It teaches not just the kids in the situation, but it teaches the viewers the value of making space for children to express their thoughts and feelings in a healthy way, ensuring that their needs are not being eclipsed by the dramatics of their parents. So, like I said, there were numerous opportunities over the last 14 years for the parents on this show to show us how they balance their own emotional turmoil with the needs of their children. This means actively listening and validating their feelings and providing a safe space for their kids to process. Because, as we all know, or should know by now, children who feel emotionally supported are more likely to develop healthy coping mechanisms and a strong sense of self worth. Two things that all of the Brown children seem to lack. And I think this was made pretty clear in one episode where one of Robin's daughters had a panic attack. Instead of the show focusing in on how Cody and Robin, as parents, could get the young girl to calm down and validate her feelings and deal with them in a healthy manner, they're seen leaning into the attack and ultimately just making it worse. They amped that attack up. I don't know if it was acting to make the show more interesting or garner sympathy over their situation, or if this was really truly how they handle their child's panic attacks. But either way, it was not a good situation for anyone involved, especially the child that had the attack. The family has so many scenes where the parents will bring the family together to deliver news, and they simply home in on catching the negative reactions of the children, but we never see the parents address these reactions in a healthy way, at least not on camera. And considering how this family has completely fallen apart, I don't believe they ever address these things off camera either. Throughout the show, we see the children being forced by their parents to take on a lot of the parental roles. They're being tasked with not only taking on the physical responsibilities of parenting, like cooking and cleaning and hustling the other kids from one space to another, but they're often left to be the emotional support for one another. And it somehow became a joke of the show that once a kid in the family turns 18, they're moved into the home of the eldest daughter, Maddie, so that she and her husband can teach them how to be self sufficient and what healthy marriages with kids look like. Moving into Maddie's house is the first step that these children take into their adulthood. The parents are very adamant about pushing their children out as soon as they turn 18, despite the fact that they, the parents, have not efficiently equipped their children with the necessities that it takes to be fully functioning adults. The older children are often forced to take care of the younger children. We see this in the first couple of seasons of the show, where the oldest son, Logan, is often seen fathering the younger kids, and Maddie is often seen mothering the younger kids. Even the daughter, Aspen, has been tasked with some of the parenting duties. And the only time we really see the parents in the show show up for their kids is when it's time to dish out harsh words and punishment. Now, now that the bulk of the children are adults and living on their own, the five parents seem to be in the dark as to why their children choose to keep their distance. And I would say it's mostly only two of the parents who display this ignorance as to why their kids don't want to be around them. But the other three parents, they pretty much get pushed away from their kids also, and that's mostly due to the kids not wanting to be associated with the show anymore. We rarely see the bulk of the children on the show anymore unless there's a mandatory family gathering that can be filmed for the show, and even then, a lot of these activities that are and mostly not being filmed is because the children don't want their lives to be put on display for the public. They don't want to be the driving force of their parents' income. We also see Cody, the father of the show, openly disparaging his children for the public, all while acting as if he's somehow the victim in the situations that he created with them, instead of Cody making the attempts to reconcile and take a accountability for his poor parenting choices. He chooses to call his children names and belittle them and their mothers for not being present in his life, so that he can somehow put himself on a pedestal and appear as an idol for the world to see all of them worshiping. It's actually pretty sad. Cody never takes the time out to show his children that he loves and cares about them. We never see him spending quality time with any of his children, not even the ones who live in the house with him. And in the few moments that we have seen uh, Cody with his children, it all seems to be very forced and staged, just so that the film crew has some content to put out for the show. It's never it never looks natural and loving and caring. The environment just seems very fake. Overall, Sister Wives serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of emotional awareness and sensitivity that healthy parenting requires. The show's depiction of missed opportunities in addressing children's emotional needs underscores the impact of parental support on a child's development. It teaches viewers that while parents may be dealing with their own challenges, prioritizing the emotional well being of their children is crucial for fostering resilience, self esteem, and healthy relationships. In essence, the show offers valuable insight into the significance of nurturing a child's emotional world by providing a safe space for children to express their feelings and validating their experiences. Parents can help their children to develop healthy coping mechanisms and that strong sense of self-worth that they're going to need once they into the adult world. This approach is it not only strengthens the parent child bond, but it also lays the foundation for emotionally resilient individuals who have the ability to cultivate lasting ties with their own partners and children. Ultimately, I can say that while the show doesn't highlight healthy relationships between parents and children, we can all walk away with the idea of what not to do with our own children. We can look at how they failed and seek that balance that ensures the emotional needs of our own families are being met. The show also shows us just how effective parenting involves not only managing adult relationships like co parenting, but it also shows us that it is a parent's duty to ensure that their children feel heard, valued, and supported on a day to day basis.
And twist myself at the spine.